you know as well as I do, work restores dignity. Yeah. Work brings pride. And our welfare system deviated from what it was intended to be from its origin. It was intended for the most vulnerable, to the most needy in our country. But now we've created welfare as a lifestyle in our country. And America is not a welfare state. America is a country of opportunity and a country of entrepreneurship. And so this will help us to encourage able-bodied people in America that are receiving government subsidies to work. There was a study that came out, almost 50% of households that are receiving HUD funds, almost 50%, not one person in that household is working. And that has to change. That culture, that paradigm has to change. At HUD, this is common sense compassion. We want to help people and invigorate and encourage people to work, able-bodied people to work. We're not talking about the elderly. We're not talking about those that are disabled. Able-bodied, able-minded people that are receiving HUD funding should go to work to restore dignity, Maria. Maria, you get up early in the morning and you work, you serve. And so we want to give other people and encourage others the same opportunity. And so this is a great step forward, working with our colleagues at Agriculture and also Health and Human Services and Dr. Oz to be kind of a catalyst to change the trajectory of the lives of people in our country.
I think it's a great point that you make, Secretary.
$33 billion cut.
That stat, though, that he gave, 50% of the households, nobody is working.
Yeah, let's speak on this brother right here. I don't know. Does it say what he is?
He's the head of HUD.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
He's the HUD secretary.
You didn't know that? You don't remember that?
I don't remember
He's on the Trump cabinet.
Either.
He's on the Trump cabinet. He is the head of housing and urban development.
Yeah, I think we pulled him up before.
Yeah,
I think we pulled him up.
Remember they kept saying there's no one's black. And
yeah, he's the one. He's the black guy on the panel.
I respect you, Scott. So the fact that people could live off the government and not work at all is the biggest privilege
no one in the house
in this entire
world. Truly is.
So in other countries, if you don't work,
you starve.
You don't eat, man. That is insane. And then y'all want to cry about white
oppression,
supremacy and oppression when the government is letting you live, giving you food, taking care of your kids.
No, I've heard. Well, one of my parents' friends, they said that this lady, she can live. I think it's like her rent is like $30 a month because the state, and then she gets a gym membership for free. They get pet care for free, pet food for free.
Section 8,
all off the state.
I'm sorry, it has went too far. Like, it's not even housing anymore. You can live in a beautiful neighborhood in Section 8 right now. And
doctor, all that.
And you only have to pay $300. Like, it's pretty insane. Like, people are taking advantage of it. So
I heard out here you have to make under $22,000 to get Section 8 in Texas.
I don't think anyone that's living on Section 8 is living anywhere nice. Let's just keep it.
Now they got nice homes like this.
You think there's Section 8 housing here?
Now they do have that.
Yeah, out where we live.
Yes. They will pay. I don't know if it's your mortgage or rent. I don't know, but they will pay a big long sum of that.
And you only pay
you only pay like $200-$300.
I don't think anybody living in Section 8 is living somewhere nice.
I can show you multiple. There's multiple. They've been doing that. They've been doing that for years.
So y'all think people live in this neighborhood on Section 8?
It could be possible.
It's people even in the
Woodlands.
Woodlands.
$500,000 houses.
Come on, but
I'm keeping. Yes, I'm not playing, bro. They are.
We don't live in the Woodlands,
bro. This is $500,000 houses, bro.
Bro, they're putting people in them houses.
Okay.
Nah.
Yes, they are. Bro.
I don't think that.
I will put money on it. I will put $5,000 on it that they are.
Bro, no, that's a fact.
I thought it was like they have certain apartments.
No, bro, that's not the thing.
That's how it is in Oklahoma.
Look,
that's how they try to
Section
stop.
Section 8, now they are having homes. Looking for Section 8 in Houston.
That's it.
Yes, you can have a nice home on Section 8 now. Yeah. It has went too
There's
far.
so much land out here, but it makes
Section 8 accepted. Yes, brother. This is a thing.
It says many Section 8 participants end up in neighborhoods with high poverty, crime, and limited resources.
Yes, no, that's most of the time. But I'm saying now you can get
a house.
It says landlords reluctant to accept vouchers in wealthier areas.
You might not live in the best neighborhood in your city, but you can live in a pretty middle class.
It says 70% of Section 8 voucher holders live in neighborhoods with poverty rates above 20%.
We know that.
Higher than the national average.
We know that, brother. But we just saying that you can get a home like this on Section 8 now.
But it's a higher chance that you're gonna live in a
for sure. Yeah. We're not saying
Show it to them.
I know some people that got some nice homes off the Section 8.
Yeah, bro,
I don't know
look.
anybody that lives nice. The one person I did know,
You think about apartments, bro. This is a new age.
the
of
one
time.
person I did know that lived on Section 8 lived in the East Side.
Yes, I mean,
In the
yes,
hood.
bro. We're just saying it's different now.
Well, Texas.
This is this qualifies as a Section 8 home right here.
That's a duplex.
Okay, that's still nice though.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I was just
No, there's some people in actual full out homes. Yeah.
Hit that TikTok over there.
To be honest with you,
Actually, and this is
by
in
hobby.
Houston.
That's on the South Side.
Yes, bro. I know people that live in them right now.
if you're in a Section 8 home like that,
That's a nice ass house.
you can't say racist.
Section
That
8.
is
This country man don't give me nothing.
You can live it, bro. It doesn't matter. Like you can live in Katy, bro.
But they is getting rid of it now. So
You can live in Katy, Texas, on Section 8.
that's
bro.
solid.
That is a nice ass house.
and
And
you don't
not
have to
one-
live in no apartments. I can see, if you helping somebody get in a house like that, I could kind of
That is a
see.
nice house, bro.
Because it won't. You can't say the school problem no more.
That is
Yeah.
a nice ass house.
You could say they taking the resources of a good neighborhood if you do give somebody a chance to be out
But
there.
I think we're kind of missing the point. It's like,
Some people is living
The
off
fact
of,
that
No,
nobody-
not even in that
people
way.
aren't working and getting rewarded
Yeah,
with a
that's
house
the
like
problem.
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
like they getting that completely not one person in the house working. 50% of them. 50%.
How does the rent paid?
We can bring in the legal
The
here and they
state,
don't work.
you paid it.
I thought Section 8 you have to pay something.
yeah, you gotta pay a tiny amount.
But 50%,
Amount.
how if you don't work, 50% of them aren't paying.
That's what I'm
You
trying
gotta
to figure
pay
out. 'cause
$30.
you have to-
You gotta pay $30 or $100.
Maybe they DoorDash.
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. You think
Yes.
what people is not paying bread on Section 8? Y'all thought this shit ain't
$30.
Bro, they might pay 30
So oppressed.
30 to a huncho probably for sure.
That's pretty insane.
I might be wrong.
Hold on, I want to look something
Nah,
up.
that's
I
right.
might be wrong. It might be
It could be-
it could be 200, 300.
It
I
could
might be
300.
wrong.
It could be.
400.
Depends on where you're at. If you're in an apartment,
I think it depends on the
Section 8,
state.
It could be $50. But if you're in a house like that, it might end up being $300.
The Trump administration's 2025 budget proposal aims to slash Section 8 and HUD rental assistance by up to 40%, shifting the burden to states using block grants.
Yeah, that's right. And what does that mean in the real world? Cities like San Francisco estimate that over 1,900 people could lose their home. Public housing authorities like New York to Phoenix warn of increased evictions, overcrowding, and homelessness.
Yep. And you got Section 8. You're not just slashing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You're slashing lives, futures, kids' access to education, and safety. And this ain't just a theory. These are real life consequences that will happen once this program has been slashed.
So let me get this straight. The guy with gold toilets wants to end Section 8? So the Trump administration is now floating the idea of cutting Section 8. You know, the program that keeps grandma from living in her car or a mother with children living in a shelter. But wait, billionaires get tax breaks the size of Texas, and that's all cool. But helping people afford a one-bedroom? Socialism. This ain't about budget, y'all. It's about punishment. Nothing says make America great again, like making the poor homeless and building more golf courses at Mar-a-Lago. The cherry on top is some of you are actually out here cheering this on. Like you ain't got a voucher in your cousin's name and a P.O. box in your aunt's zip code. Be serious.
I don't have any
Should
of
your
that.
landlord be a politician too? Or should we start actually voting like housing matters? Because rich people ain't playing. They want everything.
This administration is proposing about 40%
gotta
cuts
say
to
something,
Section 8 housing vouchers. What does that mean for you? Maybe you don't get subsidized housing, so you think that does not matter, but it does. It always matters because Section 8 will also provide funds to developers to build housing specifically for subsidized tenants. That means, whether it's an apartment community, single family, duplex, fourplex, like those are funds. They said, oh, we're just going to send it back to the states, which essentially means we're going to leave you guys high and dry. And if you have a state that is fiscally responsible, great, good for you. I do not. I live in Mississippi, and our state is infamous for misallocating funds, stealing funds. We let people literally run amok. Oh, and we just passed legislation this past legislative session to eliminate the income tax. We are already we are already subsidized at one of the highest rates by the federal government. They are eliminating FEMA. Like, y'all got to look at the budget proposals, because some people are saying, oh, this will be good because if we get all those, Section 8 tenants out, then the housing market, the prices will change. Y'all,
that's why they're doing
there's so much nuance in this. What is going to happen is those people are going to have to leave. And where will they go? There are no programs. Federal funding has been cut from almost every
if you're able-bodied,
federal
get a job.
program or grant or subsidy that was
you.
provided to assist people with things like this.
So you people up here that's not on Section 8, not on public housing assistance, congratulations, okay? You got it together. You know what I'm saying? You did the dang on thing. You went to school. You got educated. I'm one person that do have education, okay? Did I graduate high school? I had complications in school? Yes. The answer is yes.
I'm sorry.
Do I have some type of college education level? Yes, I do. Okay, I want to fast forward to this. Does not mean that I ended up making that type of money. You know what I'm saying? With everything going the way that it's going, and I'm speaking for the Section 8 issue that's going on, where he's talking about no more Section 8, no more food stamps and all this other stuff, okay? I want to speak on that, that I do not get.
Come on, bro.
That's what her name is.
Section 8. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on Section 8. You know what I'm saying? I am on public housing assistance, and however, let me clear that up. It took a while before I even applied for public housing assistance because I'm in between jobs like crazy. I've been paying market rent all my life. Before anybody say, yeah, she just saying that because she on public housing assistance and she just doing that because she trying to milk the system for life. No, my goal was not to milk the system for life, but it did help me temporary because I will be moving. Let me put this on here. I will be moving back out and back into market rent apartments, okay? But there are some people, everybody ain't just passing through like me. There are some people that cannot afford, like me, to move off of Section 8, okay? I know people that got 5+ kids. They cannot afford that. And whatever choices that they made that was poorly, that is on them. Nobody is walking this earth is perfect, man.
All right. Okay. I mean, hey, the kid part, I can see that. If you
those
got
people will still get it. Those people, they are not able-bodied.
The problem is, though, is that they're moving to these neighborhoods because they got 5 kids and they need 5 bedrooms. They're saying that they're going to give the money to the state, and the state are going to build up, backed up. They're going to move, get the apartments going back. So these people, like, if you
they don't know if it's going to be apartments or what it is going to be.
It's going to be
so
like
they're going to make 5-bedroom apartments.
I mean, they're gonna make like duplexes, bro. When do you see a 5-bedroom duplex, bro?
That's
rare.
My point.
So what I'm saying is they're gonna give the money to the state so they can start making these duplexes again, so people can start move out of these neighborhoods and so the neighborhoods can get better again.
No, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're putting the money to the states so that they can save money and not just, and the states will allocate who gets the money, so that therefore when there's able-bodied people living in the house, you're not getting the money. Someone with 5 kids. Single mom with 5 kids, and she's gonna get money.
So you're saying there's still gonna be people living in the suburban
if she got 2 sons our age in there,
hold on, bro,
and they not working.
Hold on, bro. You're saying they're gonna still live in the suburban neighborhoods?
I don't know, but that's not the debate. The debate is who's gonna lose it.
They probably is.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. But the point that they made,
I don't know where they're going.
The point they said that they're going to give the
they're gonna kick them out. They're gonna send them homeless.
Well,
that's what they're saying.
All right, so this is the plan here. It says the Trump administration's preliminary budget includes a 40 to 43% cut in rental assistance, totaling $26.7 billion. This would severely reduce funding for Section 8, potentially limiting the number of vouchers available or their value.
But we also gotta forget, like, we don't know if Section 8 was getting used for the illegals. So
we don't.
Probably definitely was.
We forgot about.
That's a really good point, honestly.
We can't just say
hold on. It says the administration has proposed replacing Section 8 with state-managed block grants, which would shift responsibility to states to design their own rental assistance programs. Critics argue that this could lead to inconsistent aid, reduced oversight, gaps in coverage, especially in states with limited budget. It says there's a 2-year cap proposal. Some reports indicate to cap rental assist aid at 2 years for able-bodied adults, which would drastically alter Section 8 structure.
That's what it is. So no, illegal immigrants cannot get Section 8 housing.
Damn.
Okay, but it says there's no executive order to eliminate Section 8.
Well, we know that.
It says not typically.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and make assumptions, but
it also says Section 8 is still operational. The proposed cuts just
Actually,
restructure
they are.
the budget.
I think they are, but
I'm confused. What are you guys arguing?
well, maybe
Some
not
people do
exactly
need
Section 8,
though.
but I think that.
Some people do actually need it.
But
though.
they're living off
And
some type
food
of
stamps.
public housing, the illegals. No, some people do actually need it, and they should still get it. But if you got 2 sons that's over 18 in there, hell no.
Well, I think
they got to get to work.
You can't even have a certain. I thought you can't have a man in some people in case you can't have a man inside the house already.
Yeah. Or I think you get less.
I mean,
You get more if you're a single mother than if you are married.
They're putting it toward the state, but I'm just saying. I'm not gonna say what this lady said is right or not, but she did say that they were giving it to the state so they could build the apartment buildings, and I think that is probably the reason they're doing that. Because if they're in these type of neighborhoods,
it's probably all types of reasons.
If they're in these type of neighborhoods, a lot of people don't like that. But I mean, if you got 5 kids, where else can you go besides a house?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's why she said that it's gonna ruin the education and all that. Because if they're not allowed to be in suburban neighborhoods. I mean, it is gonna ruin their education, but hey, you got to pay for those. You got to pay for those advantages and those privileges to be in a suburban.
I just think you
can't live off Section 8 and be in a suburban.
That's all I think.
So
I feel like it kind of do help though.
I'm not even mad at that. I'm just mad at if you have able-bodied men in your house,
that's a problem.
Shouldn't get $1 to me.
That most likely is not the problem. It's probably
that's not the problem.
Mom staying at home and they have kids and they just saying they can't.
They're
work.
lazy though, bro. I'm gonna be real.
That's why I really truly.
I got some family on Section 8.
I'm not finna be that critical.
I got family on Section 8 and there's men in the home and they're in my family and they're lazy as fuck.
I had a cousin on Section 8. I haven't talked to him in years, but we were in high school when he was on Section 8.
So
my dad actually helped pay their rent when they were on Section 8. That's how bad it was.
Damn.
You went to school with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was that bad, bro. It was that bad. So I'm not finna be critical. Like he was a kid, bro. We was kids. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No. We're talking about not in high school, but I'm talking about 21-year-old plus.
18.
That's a problem.
If he's 18,
yeah. If you're in high school, you can't do nothing about that. You're trying to get your education.
Yeah, I just.
But that's at 2 years. So 2 years of being able-bodied, they'll give you to get a job before they cut it.
Yes,
that's what it says.
Yes.
So it's fair.
If you 2 years, and you couldn't find no job in 2 years.
Yeah, it says they have a proposal to cap it, so you stop getting rental assistance after 2 years.
If you're able-bodied,
you got 2 years to get it together.
See, the problem is like up north, like if you're on Section 8 up there, bro, and you got 4 kids and you're on a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, that's
a lot
rough.
of people. That's rough, and that's why if they bring this to like Texas, and these people are moving out of the suburban neighborhoods, and they have to go back to these Section 8 complexes, which I know where a lot are, and it's 5 people in the home.
I mean,
that's bad.
I do see why people can be upset about this.
What complex they said?
No, she's saying that's what they're gonna do, bro. Because there's changing.
But
now
that's
to
what she said. We don't know. That's not what we read.
Bro. We reading.
I know somebody
data.
right now for a fact on Section 8 that lives in a nice neighborhood in Klein, in Texas Klein area, on Section 8 house. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not hating. It's better for their education, but. That it's happening.
I mean, I can see why people would be upset about this, but like they're not cutting it.
No,
completely.
imagine your neighbor
they're just trying to put some stipulations in place so people can't game the system. I mean, if
the neighbor working hard every day and they living next to
and people are
that,
finessing the system.
That's on Section 8. How would they feel?
Not good.
Welcome to America.
So
gotta help people out, but they oppressed though.
Hey. If you got a house and you ain't working, I mean, you got 4 people in the house, that's still a blessing. You ain't worked for a goddamn thing.
My point.
So if it's 2 bedrooms and it's 5 people in there, I'm sorry, they gave you a roof, buddy. This ultimate privilege to be in a damn suburban neighborhood is too far.
You ain't even working.
So, and they
gotta go to work.
They gotta pay more. Imagine what I'm saying though. They cutting the budget by putting them in apartments. But if there's a whole bunch of people, thousands of people in suburban neighborhoods, it's gonna cost more.
And I think you can still get it if you are employed. If you don't make a lot. You just gotta be employed. You just gotta show us you trying, brother. You gotta go to McDonald's or something.